Good evening, everybody. Wawa. Welcome back to another episode of the Squirrel Cast. It is I, the sad man in the bathrobe. DieTribesandSquirrels.com. Squirrel Man, the Squirrel Man on YouTube. So check out the links. Go to DieTribesandSquirrels.com. All the social media that I have currently enabled for this ridiculous endeavor is at the bottom of the homepage. Please feel free to sign up, leave your comments and ideas, episode topics. Be happy to read them. I hope everybody's doing well this evening. I myself have been busy, working on my paying job. But now let's get to the passion, complaining about things. So I thought I was going to do episode 10 on a certain topic, and it turns out somebody gave me a much better idea. I want to thank Chris in Pennsylvania for this one. Cheers to you, buddy, for giving me a few ideas. So we got a few topics lined up for the next couple of episodes. So today we're going to talk about a proxy topic to a topic that I love. I love cars and I love driving. I love reading about new cars and new features and technology and new engines and all these kinds of fun things. I like to see what kind of mad product some crazy engineer will come up with. It's always really exciting. I'm a big fan of sports cars, obviously. I'm a big fan of souped up sleepers as well. Overpowered station wagons, hot hatches. I just love that kind of car. I've had a couple of fun cars in my history. I haven't always treated them the best. I could have been a better father figure to my cars. But I've learned over time. I have mellowed with age. Being a car enthusiast also means I'm a bit of a speed enthusiast, a risk taker, especially when I was younger behind the wheel, and I made mistakes. So today we're going to talk about bad drivers. Now, I am not going to sit here and pretend like I am some sort of track professional, defensive driving professional, tactical driving professional, none of the above. I would rate myself probably below average. I'm an idiot. As we can see by the fact that I'm recording YouTube videos off a bad camera with an entry-level microphone in my bathrobe. And this is what I'm doing on a Friday night. Because I'm probably not dating material. Anyway, keep going on this. Let's just keep going on this before the tears come. Bad drivers. All right, let's go through a few things that irritate me. Now, huge pinch of salt here. Probably not the best perspective, but it's the only one you're going to get from this site. Welcome your comments and feedback. All right, let's start with I will accept anybody driving anything. I have a gripe. If you own a goddamn car, maintain it. Maintain your vehicle. If it doesn't operate appropriately, get it fixed. Now, I know the first comment is some people can barely afford the car they drive, barely afford the gas they put in it. I get it. But this is a personal gripe. I personally hate it when I'm sleeping in my bed on my quiet little street, in my sleepy little neighborhood, in my place where the city life is not close, and I hear some 20-year-old Civic drive by without a muffler. at 3 in the morning. I get precious little sleep, which is my own fault due to work, overfilling my schedule, and caffeine. But the sleep that I do get is precious to me. And I really hate being woken up by some jerk with a fart can or no exhaust on the back of their car. By fart can, I mean one of those giant mufflers that's just there to make noise. It adds 47 horsepower. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Okay? Not the way you've done up the car. No, it doesn't. It just makes a lot of noise. So, they were cool when I was in my 20s. I'm old now, not cool anymore. Get your car fixed. It shouldn't make that much noise. Okay? Saw the other day a Volkswagen Beetle driving down the street at 60 kilometers an hour. Literally, the part of the exhaust was hanging from the undercarriage 2 inches off the ground. If he hit a bump or she hit a bump, there would have been sparks flying everywhere. And hopefully the car would have exploded because it was an old bug and those are ugly as sin. Get your car fixed. Get your car fixed. Maybe don't eat the McDonald's takeout for a couple days and get your car fixed. The next point is, now that we're driving around at a reasonable time of day, I need to say merging onto the highway. I did go to a defensive driving school, and I remember being told by the defensive driving teachers, you must merge onto the highway at the speed of traffic on the highway. The idea is not to merge at half the speed of the traffic on the highway and force everybody on the highway or merging behind you to slam on their brakes to avoid hitting you because you're not cognizant of the things around you. I try to merge on some of the highways here. People are on the highway buzzing by 85, 90 kph, and this ding-dong sitting in front of me at 50. Hit the gas, Grandpa. What are you trying to do? Make widows out of all these people? Like, what's wrong with you? Look, I know that life came at you fast and furious for 97 years, and now you want to take it slow, but that doesn't mean endangering me. I still got living to do. Hit the gas. You're in the merge lane, pick up speed. Pick up speed. And I drive a little Japanese car now that for its own life can barely get to speed in the fashion that I like. And I still manage to merge at speed. So I know I may have had overpowered cars before, correctly powered cars, overpowered cars before, and maybe even then had the perspective of saying, okay, they don't have XXX in that car. Be patient, be tolerant. But now I'm driving the same car. And it, by the way, is a car that is slow even for its peers in its marketplace. So I know you're driving probably a car that's faster than mine, quicker to get to 100 kilometers an hour than mine, so you can hit the gas. Hit the gas. Get up to speed. And use your blinkers. You literally barely have to move your hand from the wheel. This is not a Citroën, okay? In Citroën, in Europe, they had these bizarre features such as switches on the dashboards that were your blinkers. I learned this or remembered this from a Grand Tour special that they did a while back called Carnage à Trois, talking all about French cars, where the blinkers were a switch on the dashboard that wouldn't auto-cancel after you finished your turn. There I can understand not maybe being the best disciplined about using your blinker. But the blinker system in cars has been designed with one column shift switch that you push up to turn right and down to turn left. And once you've done that once, you don't have to then reset it to the middle. You finish your turn, and as you turn the wheel back straight in your car, it will auto cancel the signal. And do you know what wonderful thing that does for everyone around you on the road? It notifies the other drivers driving along of an intended maneuver you are going to take. How selfish of you to just start weaving in and out of traffic. No one knows where you're going. And I know the hilarious thing, if it's no one's business where I go. If you hit somebody, it should be recorded in whatever the black box is of a car that when impact occurred, they were in the process of turning. Was the blinker on or off? And then you are held 100% accountable if it's off. Does everybody forget time to time? 100%. 100%. But I see you, BMW driver. No, not your. You have a 328. One, buy a better BMW. Two, use your damn blinker. Sorry, that attacked a lot of BMW drivers. The same could be applied to pretty much every German car. As a fan of German cars, I got to admit, the market of German it takes a certain amount of sociopath to get to a point in life where you can afford a German car. You really have to have a lower form of respect for those around you. Personal observation. Personal observation. And as we move along in society, of course, the average age of driver, and we'll get to this in another episode because this is an overarching, what do I want to call it, factor in many aspects of our society. And that's an aging population. I think we all need to respect the fact that elderly people need their independence and that not all elderly people have the luxury of close at hand family to support them. On that note, if you have trouble driving, seeing, hearing, reacting, don't drive. Can you have hearing problems and have a hearing aid? Yeah, and drive? Yes. Can you have problems hearing but basically all you're missing? I mean, this should be tested. And I know they do for the elderly, I believe here there is, when you renew your license, you do have to take some sort of test to prove that you can still see, hear, and react. But I think we need to be a little bit more stringent about that. Some people that you see driving around that are perhaps in their golden years, you start to wonder if they're not just driving around hoping to hit something so that the pain of waking up every day is no longer a factor. I said it. Prove me wrong. So, I'm all for the independence of the elderly, but I'm also for the safety of everybody around us and making sure the elderly can drive. Although a lot of elderly people will be extremely defensive drivers. Because the opposite problem occurs. And I have been that opposite problem. If you are too aggressive, you should not be on the road either. You are a menace. A menace. Now, let's get to some of the unwritten road rules here, okay? Right lane is 4, and this is on a multi-lane road, okay? Could be 2 lanes, 3 lanes, 5 lanes, 7 lanes, whatever. Right lane at the speed limit. Any intervening middle lanes, increasing speed to the left. Left lane is for crime. Driving in other provinces, especially Ontario, I've noticed that drivers there drive a lot faster, a lot more aggressively, but they are more disciplined about that unwritten rule. Fast in the left, slow in the right. Where I live in Quebec, utter chaos. Utter chaos. Guy in the left, under the speed limit. Guy on the right, double the speed limit. Guy in the middle, no idea what's going on. It's real simple. It goes from right slowest, left fastest. Left lane is for crime. That is where you accept the risk of being caught, and you have, somebody said it on TikTok, you have ticket money. You're willing to take the risk. If you're not willing to take the risk, stay on the right at the speed limit, and no one can fault you because that's where you are. You have your space. The crime people have their space. This would make law enforcement, driving circulation, it would be so much easier. Just look in the left for the crime. And get off your phone. Almost every car sold now has some sort of Bluetooth interface. Granted, old cars don't, and I get it if you have an older used car. But if you have an older used car, I'm sorry, you don't have the luxury of being on your phone in the car or buy a $20 earpiece. Okay? We all somehow come up with enough scratch to pay a phone bill a month. You can get a $20 earpiece. Or borrow one off your uncle or something. You've got to have a relative that has one that doesn't need it anymore. But do not, as I saw yesterday, somebody in traffic, and I was behind them, so I was being careful. In traffic, look down, look up, look down, look up, look down. I know you're not checking to make sure you didn't spill the coffee 87 times. Get off your phone. And taxi drivers, please, be professional. Don't take people for ride-arounds. And learn how to drive in one lane. I don't know how many taxi drivers I've seen that somehow seem to think that they can just sit between 2 lanes. Now, I understand that taxi drivers sometimes get last-minute instructions from their clients as to where to go. But sometimes you should just say, listen, man, you told me too late to take that exit. So we're going to have to go one more exit, and that's on you. Just saying. I had a guy the other week, coming home from a family dinner. We were at a restaurant downtown, almost run me off the road, not a taxi driver, just a dude, trying to get from a left lane merge, which is a weird merge, a merge in the left, to take a right-hand turn within, 500 feet. He crossed 3 lanes of traffic. Didn't even slow down I had to slam on my brakes. Didn't even slow down when he saw me occupying one of the lanes. No apology. No mea culpa. Nothing. Just, yeah, I did that. You're a sociopath. Get off the road. The next day, to give you an idea of how appropriate a topic this was, I then drove downtown, and as I drove back home over our bridge here, which is a straight line, There's no curves on a bridge generally. As I drove over the bridge, saw a car somehow up on its door on the other side of the bridge. Literally wheels facing, like wheels in the air. Well, not, the car wasn't upside down, it was on its side. How someone did that, or how somebody got hit where that's where they ended up, boy, oh boy. I'm sure there's a lot more to cover about this topic, about driving. I'm certain of it. I'm trying to think of what other small topic discussions. Saw this yesterday. Motorcycles, cool with that. Motorized tricycles, no. No, take them off the market. Shouldn't be there. Dumbest thing I've ever seen. You look ridiculous. You look ridiculous. Just get in a car. Why in God's name would you choose to buy something that makes you look like you have no balance? Somebody who has a motorized tricycle that watches this, please correct me on how the giant motorized tricycle is cool. Just explain it to me in layman's terms how that vehicle can possibly be construed or considered or even hoped in some way, shape, or form that it's cool. Just explain it to me. And if you're driving a pickup truck and there's nothing in the bed and you don't live in the country and you never use it to be a pickup truck, I'm just going to assume you have a small dingling. Perhaps, may be wrong. Maybe I should get a pickup. As I said in episode 2, dream car right now, dream cars, would be a 911 Turbo, stick shift, and an RS6 Avant, which is an Audi station wagon. Those are my dream cars right now. I'd keep my little Japanese car, though. It is I just wish I had a fun car. It's cheap. Not that great on gas, though. Really not. So there's a lot to be said about bad drivers. I mean, I can never, ever pretend like everything I've said here was 100% serious. And I can never, ever realistically claim to be some sort of driving genius. Trust me, I have more than a few friends who would correct me on that front. But this is my squirrel cast, so I'm allowed to make my own grievances. And those are the grievances I've got for bad drivers. Get your damn car fixed. Good Lord.